We're good to go. All right. Call the meeting to order. Roll call. Supervisor Haskey has to be excused. Is there any other missing? As I glanced around the table, I don't think so. We're looking good here. All right.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, geez. Make the meeting twice as long. Because we have to listen to it as we go. Live feedback. All right, approval of March 4th agenda you have before you. Motion by Supervisor Poppy, second by Supervisor Yankee. Any discussion of that motion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Approval of February 5th, 2024 minutes. Do I have a motion? Supervisor Lukes, second by Supervisor Augustine. Any discussion of those minutes? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. And we come to number 5, consider possible change to jailer radio operator holiday schedule. You want that, Jeremy, or the sheriff?
I can start the discussion.
I'm assuming it's one other or they both.
Any details would need to go to the sheriff or chief deputy. But we put this on the agenda based on a motion that came from the Public Safety Committee, requesting that we review here. Essentially, the motion would be to change the one of the holidays for the jailer radio operators to change from the day after Christmas to New Year's Day. So it'd be from December 26th, or New Year's Eve, sorry, December 26th to December 31st. That'll make it consistent with the patrol officers and simply with getting scheduled, putting in systems and things like that.
Want to start ringing in the new year early?
Will you run the dates again, please?
Sure. They currently have December 26th off,
Yes,
the day
okay.
after Christmas. And the motion that was passed in public safety was to change that from December 26th is no longer a holiday, December 31st becomes.
That's what they're requesting. I don't know why we would have a problem with it.
It helps payroll, right?
It does make it simpler for payroll, makes it simpler for jail, and staff as well. And keeps it consistent between the.
Right, do I have a motion?
Move to approve that change.
Supervisor Romden, second by Supervisor Mastelier. Is there any further discussion of that motion? All right. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
Any other questions for us on anything?
Break the party hats out early.
Thanks.
Yep. Okay, county administrators report. Jeremy, how things been going?
Just fantastic.
Yeah.
Just fantastic.
Right.
I don't have too much really to present to bring to the committee's attention this evening. I've just really enjoyed everyone's hospitality and people have been tremendously welcoming, friendly. Off to a great start. So thank you for the opportunity again. We also have the personnel report before you today, which is relatively light. That is just myself and Marty have been confirmed for hire with the start dates shown there. And then also a change in assignment among the two sheriff's department personnel. So the two deputies listed there have changed assignments within the department.
It doesn't leave us short at the bottom.
No, it's a 1-for-1 swap.
So they're only looking for a radio operator?
At the moment, I believe so.
Really? Because we keep saying we're so short
You know,
Personnel.
We were told they. Sure.
on. Okay.
There are several radio operator jailer positions that are short. I don't have the FTE count handy, but it's more than one.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, either way, it looks pretty good, huh? Anything else?
Continuing that theme, there have been no new resignations, so no current positions to request to be refilled right now.
New administrator comes in and everybody wants to stay.
Yeah. Take it while we can get it.
Yeah, but it goes the other way too, when they're all leaving, you know, we assume it's because of the administrator.
That would be nice to stay for Eddie.
Oh, Eddie was, he didn't have too bad,
Yeah, like.
But it's slowed up quite a bit.
Yeah.
It built a lot.
In the beginning, when I was.
Yeah.
And he filled a lot. He inherited quite a few vacancies and then filled them and slowed it down. So,
In Florida right now, enjoying
Yes.
himself.
Yes.
yeah. And you just picture him out there laying on the beach.
I don't think he's thinking about us.
Oh, I like to believe he is. All right. Anything else, Jeremy?
That's for me.
All right. Anybody else have anything else?
I just got a question.
Yes, sir.
Michael's has been around remarking all them, what they put in for the internet. Are they blowing some lines in now? Do you know, Michael's?
Do we have any update? Jeremy, your first week on the job, you should be on top of this.
I haven't had a chance on that. I can look into it.
It would be
Up in
good
my
to
area,
know.
they're marking every spot where they put that little box, the big box, they got a stick.
And what, that would be, I mean, the Tussle, obviously, but where are
This is
they?
Michael's out of Milwaukee, you know, the big company.
Yeah, but it would have to be contracted. It would have to
Well,
be
that's why I was
Tussle.
wondering if they're blowing in that, they had a truck there with a big air compressor and a bunch of tubing. So I don't know.
Well, it would be nice to get an update again on the whole bug tussle thing, because it just seems like it's kind of sitting in limbo. You know,
So Jeremy, could we get just kind of an update on where they're at with the fiber and what's going on, like with what Supervisor Lukes is asking about? Maybe they could, I don't know, Jamie, I haven't thought too much about our next, agenda, but, do we have a light enough agenda that if they wanted to come to the next, board meeting even to make a report that they could, or do we just want to have them report to this committee?
Right,
So
you're talking
if they-
this month,
let's-
like
yeah.
this month?
Yeah, so if they could, get somebody here to, give us an update, that'd probably be pretty good timing, huh? Because it's spring, I assume that there'd be some things happening that they'd want to share with us.
I can approach them and make that request. And get them here for the March board meeting.
Last I checked with Paul, I mean, everything is up to date, it's been a little while, but everything is up to date on the loans and so forth, but I assume Mr. Depo is always on top of that anyway, so.
Isn't there a grant they were working on?
They were going to look at, there was a grant they didn't get for fiber, and I don't know where, if they were trying for more grants, I don't believe so, because we would have heard about that, right? I've heard nothing further.
The last I heard, when they applied for the grant, they had to pull the grant application because it was applied wrong and so they missed the window. So they're waiting for the next grant to go around so there's unfinished work in phase 2 that has to be done, but without any cash to stick into that, they're waiting for more cash flow to come in to
And
finish some of that work. So
did you get your question answered?
I did actually, we have just an update. So we've got fiber now to the city of Kewaunee, and we have fiber to our highway department. So the last major building that we need fiber to is Luxembourg, but they put conduit into Luxembourg, but they haven't actually started pulling fiber in Luxembourg yet.
Yeah, well, if they start digging in Luxembourg again, I can hardly wait for that. Yeah, my phone has finally stopped ringing from the last time they were there.
What's that? No, most of the conduit, there was and I don't want to speak for them because this is probably more hearsay than anything, but there was some of the contractors that they had working for them had put a lot of conduit in, but they were supposed to put conduit and then fiber, but they put more conduit in, so they spent some of the money that was supposed to be for fiber. So some of that has been happening. So there's a lot of conduit in the ground, just not a lot of fiber blown in. So
I just remember last time they came into the village, they dug holes everywhere. And then they just put boards over the top of them, and they left those holes. And I don't remember, how long were they there that way, but I mean, it was,
When they came up on Valley,
yeah.
they went along, hillside. Yeah. They came up on Valley and did the same thing, but they cut conduit. So there's pieces of conduit that's out of the ground and it's snipped off.
I think there's going to be where you see those big cement holders, basically, like out here in the corner, that conduit comes up and sits there until they can bury one of those, things in that. So they're just, there's work that it needs to be done. You know, where they're at with that, I don't know, but that would be a good update to say where they were at.
They're behind, they're actually behind on their contract from what they were supposed to have done in phases, right?
Is that correct, Dave?
Yeah, I think they are behind, but they haven't, for a while there, they knew they were behind and they weren't.
Right.
So,
But I mean, at what point do we start holding them accountable for getting this work done? We
well, I
borrowed
think
them
they are
money.
still,
I mean, I understand they're making the payment, but we're sitting here with empty conduits. They made promises to us on a contract. It'd be no different if we were.
Like we signed up on our loan and the farm signed up.
I mean, the longer we let this go without pushing them, they're gonna keep kicking the can down the road. So I think it's something that needs to be addressed.
You could sign up, you could fill out everything, so how many other people did it and didn't.
The question becomes of the corporation council is which of those parts are under contract and which of those are parts that were things that they were going to do but weren't contracted to. And I don't know the answer to that.
and without looking more closely at what runs they were to have done, or what parts they were to have done.
I mean, they've been very
I
upfront
would say at
in
this point.
answering the questions and telling us, so it's probably as easy as asking them. And then based on what response you get and how you feel about it, I guess that would determine your attitude.
I know at one point they approached a county board to, you know, potentially borrow more money from the county to finish the work up, and prior to grant coming in. I don't know where that ended up.
I haven't brought anything additional. I've not had any formal requests for additional loans. I will say, I mean, they've not approached me with a formal request. And I honestly don't know, based on kind of, you know, just what you get here. I seem to be, I don't want to speak for others, but I seem to be one of their happy customers on the board. I can't say enough about the service we have. It's really been unbelievable. You know, so I'm extremely happy, but obviously others are not as happy. And obviously we want to find out why others aren't happy and determine if there's something we can do to change that.
It would be nice to have an update saying, here's where we're at. This is what we're looking to get done in 2024.
Well, the county doesn't have any bigger obligation out there, do we? I mean, the millions of dollars in loans that we have out there. I mean, it's a big deal, I think.
Yeah, I think, you know, our responsibility is that we are a partner
Mhm.
in this, you know, we've lent money, but we never being paid, you know, so they're not missing payments. So,
Right.
you know, as a business, if we're technically the bank.
Right,
you know.
they're making payments, but if there's additional work that should be going on, that's another side of it, and I guess I don't really know. I mean,
Right.
if that's, I think that they are, where they're supposed to be on work, but I guess I don't really know that, and doesn't sound like Dave does either right off.
We used to get every,
Contract answer that.
yeah, we used to get every month kind of an update. As employees, we receive an update of just a sheet of paper saying this is where we're at, here's where our fiber is, you know, and things like that. But I don't think we've received one of those in 6 months.
I think it would be very appropriate to get an update from them at this point.
They might have done a quarterly report as well, but we've had 2 administrators since that, so that might just be, we may not have heard from them because they're not
Right,
aware of that
Well,
change.
right. We've got a new administrator. He needs to be brought up to date with all of that, and the board, sounds like there's a lot of questions from the board on what they're doing and what's happening. So it seems to me that it would be very appropriate if we could get them to come in and do a report. That would be helpful. I have to say too, in Luxembourg, I mean, they really did go all out on getting things straightened up after They said there was contract or subcontracted for things up there, and they really went all out in getting that straightened out and making things right there. I'm very impressed with that.
And it seemed like once they realized the way it was presented anyway, that they bit off more than they could chew, they hired some subs to take care of that. Once they realized the subs weren't doing a good job and people weren't very pleased with it, I think they were pretty responsive on getting it fixed.
Once they realized how bad it really was, they got on it. But, you know, you dig a hole in somebody's lawn, they get upset. You dig a hole in somebody's lawn and leave it, they are outraged.
Yeah. People don't want their companies to.
Well, I mean, I can't say I would appreciate it. I mean, you know, I can't blame people for that. So, but they got right on that. All right. Jeremy will work on that hopefully for the next board meeting, because I'm guessing it'd be good if it were able to be at the full board, because I'm guessing that there are other supervisors beyond this committee that would have questions too. So that would be great. Anything else, Jeremy?
For me, Mr. Chairman.
Fabulous. Our next meeting then should be April Fool's Day, right? Yep. I don't normally work Easter Monday, but you know, this isn't really work. This is a hobby. This is what I do for fun. Executive Committee, 6 p.m., April 1st. April Fool's Day, just remember, I hate April Fool's Day. All right. Second by Supervisor Kroll, motion by Supervisor Poppy, second by Supervisor Kroll. All in favor of the motion to adjourn, say aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, folks.